Like and subscribe right now, or you're going to have bad luck for the rest of the week.
Nobody will disagree with the statement that our planet has breathtaking and awe-inspiring sceneries all around the globe. There are many beautiful places to travel to, but those are not the ones we are talking about today. Today, we are concentrating on the exact opposite and are telling you about places you should stay away from. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get into it. Number 10. Bottomless lakes. Our first entry into this list scared me when I first heard about it, and for a good reason. Many people are afraid of deeper waters because you never know what may live down there, so it is sure scary to think that there is no end below you. It is a lot less scary if you see the bottom below you and know precisely what happens down there. However, these bottomless lakes in New Mexico aren't actually bottomless. They seem to only look the part due to its deep green-blue color, making it seem endless. There were reports of swimmers and divers being sucked up into an underwater stream during the years, only never to be seen again. These tales also told of an object going missing and then showing up in the Gulf of Mexico later on, even though it would take you 9.5 hours to even get close to the Gulf of Mexico if you took a car. So, scientists have ruled out the possibility of an underwater stream stretching for that far. Many legends also tell of monsters in these 9 lakes, from a giant scary turtle guarding the bottomless waters to an octopus man and a whitish dragon. Though the lakes aren't bottomless, out of the 9 lakes, you can only swim in one of them. Number 9. Black Mountain. This impressive mountain can be found in Queensland, Australia, and is one of the mountains on Earth that you should never climb. The Black Mountain, or the Kalkayaka as the locals refer to it, is a sacred site for the indigenous people living in and around the area. A long time ago, there was a war that found place here, both a war of clan groups and spirits, it is said. When you see this majestic mountain in front of you, you may feel tempted to climb it and explore your surroundings, but you should never even set a foot there. Not only is it disrespectful to the indigenous people living there, as you are walking above sacred grounds, but it's also said that you will be forever haunted by spirits afterwards. As if that wasn't enough to put you off of the idea of climbing the mountains, there's another fact that we have for you. This mountain is considered to act the same way as the Bermuda Triangle. Herds of cattle and even people have disappeared among the sacred site and were never found or ever heard from again. To quote one of the clan descendants that live there, don't muck around with the spirits. Number 8. Huska Castle Pit. Like our last 2 entries, this one also tells of mythical beings haunting the area, and of course the castle itself. Now, from the outside, it may look like an ordinary building, and you would be correct, it does look the part. However, this castle has quite horrifying tales surrounding its history. They are scary enough to send a shiver down everybody's back. Huska Castle can be found roughly 50 kilometers north of Prague and is one of the best preserved castles from its period. The castle was built above a large hole in the ground that is just described as a gateway to hell. Not a very nice name if you ask us. However, according to the tales that are told there, the name seems to be accurate. When the construction on this castle began, prisoners that had a death sentence were offered a pardon if they agreed to be lowered into the hole and reporting back on what they had seen. When the first person was lowered into the cavity via a rope, he started screaming after just a few seconds. When they heaved him back to the surface, he looked like he had aged 30 years as his hair had turned grey and wrinkles had appeared on his face. Better be safe than sorry and stay away from something that is said to be haunted. Don't you agree? Number 7. North Sentinel Island. The North Sentinel Island is among the most unexplored islands all over the globe. The tribe that lives there are called the Sentinelese and are hunter-gatherers. Their hunting methods have not evolved beyond the Stone Age, and they do not engage in agriculture to grow their plants. This island not permitted to be approached, as the Sentinelese do not appear to be very interested in communicating with the world and will turn hostile to anyone approaching the island. In 2018, a Christian missionary approached fishers around the area, begging them to sail him towards the islands in hopes of converting the Sentinelese to Christianity. A few days later, people of the tribe were seen dragging his body, and the next day, his body was found on the shore. Attempts of retrieving his murdered body were made, but he was eventually given up. The Indian Navy patrols the waters to make sure no one tries to go onto the island. Number 6. The Darien Gap. The Darien Gap is a hell of a place, with the focus on hell. There's quite a long list of why you shouldn't visit this place, but today we will only name a couple for you. I would love to tell you something only mildly dangerous first, but it is almost impossible to do. Let's start with the spiders then. The Brazilian wandering spiders can quickly put you into the hospital, or in the worst case scenario, can cause death in 2 to 6 hours. The next one would be black scorpions that can ruin your day if its stinger caught you off guard. The spiked changa palm trees have long 8-inch long spikes that are covered in bacteria, leaving leaving you with an infected wound and spines still stuck in it. Also botflies that lay larvae beneath your skin via a mosquito's help, bombs from the Cold War that have not yet detonated, ticks that can give you diseases, days or even weeks from the nearest hospital, and drug dealers making life hell for anybody that comes through as they want to keep their business secret. Number 5. Ilha de Camada Grande. Ilha de Camada Grande, also known as Snake Island, is definitely not a place you want to visit on your vacation. As the name states, Snake Island is the home to one of the most dangerous snakes on the planet that are called golden lancehead vipers. The island has the densest populations of snakes anywhere in the world, and setting foot on this piece of land means almost certain death. When the snakes first arrived, some said that the pirates set them free to protect their hidden gold, but it is nowadays much more believed that the water level was rising and cut off the snakes' way to get back onto the mainland. On this island, the snakes found no ground level prey, so they had to slither up into the trees to find it. Oh, and find it they did. From that point on in evolution, the snake's venom evolved into a deadlier version, killing the birds they bit almost immediately, as they wouldn't have been able to keep track of which bird they bit. Just another side fact, their venom can also melt human skin, which should be another sign never to set foot on this Snake Island. Number 4. Red zones. There are a couple of red zones all over the planet, but for today we're only talking about Zone Rogue, which is a chain through northeastern France which the French government has secured after World War I. The area is completely littered with unexploded shells. Many of them are gas shells, grenades and rusty ammunition. The soil in these areas was heavily polluted with all kinds of harmful substances such as lead, mercury, chlorine, arsenic and even human and animal remains. The Zone Rogue was defined after the war as completely devastated, damage to properties 100%, damage to agriculture 100%, impossible to clean, human life impossible. And even though many unexploded shells are recovered each year, at the current rate it could still take 300 to 700 years to clean the area up thoroughly. This is definitely another spot you would want to visit. Number 3. Ramri Island. Ramri Island is a top contender for the most dangerous islands on the planet, and for a good reason. This island near the coast of Myanmar has a terrifying secret to hide, which resulted in the death of hundreds of people. In 1945, British soldiers drove Japanese soldiers deep into the mangrove forest during their battle, but none had realized that the mangrove was home to a large number of saltwater crocodiles, which is the largest of its kind. National Geographic describes them as an animal most likely to eat a human. Now you can figure out yourself what really happened deep in the forest of Ramri Island. It is said that roughly 1,000 soldiers entered the woods on that fateful day, but only 500 soldiers escaped while the others were being eaten. A terrifying thought to be thinking about. It has since been put into the Guinness World Records book as most number of fatalities in a crocodile attack. Number 2. Eniwetok Atoll. Eniwetok Atoll is an excellent example of how humans ruin the landscape and nature around them. This atoll is in the western Pacific Ocean, is a large circle of roughly 40 small islands, which are also called islets. Quite cute, isn't it? During World War II in 1944, US forces took over the area from the Japanese and it was made into a naval base. People that lived there were evacuated to other atolls after the decision was made to turn it into a testing grounds for atomic weapons. And to this day, you can still see craters of the impact of these. These tests were held from 1948 to 1956 and was declared safe again in 1980 after the radioactive soil on top was removed. The inhabitants were given a chance to return, but if you know how radioactivity works, you know this wouldn't end well. Their crops were too severely contaminated and the people had to be removed again to not put anybody in danger. Nowadays, the atoll is considered to be more radioactive than Chernobyl and Fukushima. A very dangerous vacation spot to never visit, no matter how beautiful it looks from above. Number 1. Area 51. Our top 10 list wouldn't be complete without mentioning the famous Area 51, a secret military base in southern Nevada. Until 2013, this site wasn't even officially acknowledged when the CIA released documents that confirmed its existence. So not only was it kept hidden for so long, but also nobody knows what actually goes on in there, unless you work for the government. I think everybody has heard about Area 51 at one point in their lives. Due to this reason, nobody knows its purpose, and many speculations and conspiracy theories have surfaced. The most likely assumption is that this area is used to develop and test weapons for the military. Still, other views are that this area is used to research aliens and extraterrestrial objects like UFOs, or figure out how the government could control the weather. Anyway, unless you work for a top-tier government institution, your chances of getting into Area 51 are 0. Well, what did you think about our list? Is there any more places you would have to put into this list? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content like this. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.